Welcome to ColdCase. Where we'll take a look inside the X-File. Sentenced to death at the age of 14 years old, his case aided in the abolishment of the Canadian death penalty and establishment of a non-profit band of lawyers named Aidwick. Stephen Truscott was indicted and convicted for the murder of classmate Lynn Harper. Truscott met up with 12 year intersection of County Road and Highway 8 located in Vancouver, Canada. Truscott claimed to have seen Lynn getting into a grey Chevy with a yellow license plate after biking back to the local school grounds at around 8 p.m. to chat with a few acquaintances. He then made it home for 8:30 to babysit. Several days later, Lynn was found dead with most of her clothing removed, neatly piled up near her corpse. Truscott was acquitted under the Ontario Court of Appeal on July 7, 2008. The government of Ontario awarded him $6.5 million in compensation for the unfortunate situation. Canadian Sherry Robinson awoke to find her 4-month-old son Joshua laying face down stiff in his playpen. As a result, police and children's aid grew fearful for the safety of 18-month-old Austin and was stripped from his mother. 20 days later, Sherry was arrested and charged with murder. Caving with the choice of a lesser sentence, she was convicted and sentenced to 1 year in prison. Several years after Sherry's conviction, Charles Smith's reputation had started crushing. A push for public inquiry into 45 cases involving Mr. Smith's suspicious deaths of children by the Attorney General was made. It was later found out the baby died of asphyxiation accidentally within his blankets and quill. Sherry was eventually granted her right to contact with her 18-year-old son and was able to reunite with him. Roscetti spent more than 50 years wrongfully imprisoned. 23-year-old medical student Lori Roscetti was raped and murdered. Chicago PD detectives obtained the confession from 17-year-old Marcellus Bradford to the crime. Bradford testified he and his friends Omar Sanders watched as Calvin Owens and his cousin Larry Owens raped and killed Roscetti. Bradford exchanged his testimony against the three for a guilty plea to kidnapping. The defense filed a motion for DNA testing in '87, however it was denied by a trial judge. They convicted in '88 and sentenced to life in prison. Bradford was released in '94 after serving a 6.5-year sentence. 13 years later, DNA testing excluded the 4 men as the Roscetti's attackers. The 4 men together were awarded $8 million in compensation. One of the longest-serving victims in English legal history after a 3-year police investigation, Sean Hodgson was convicted of the murder of Teresa DeSimone in Southampton. It was 1979. The body of Miss DeSimone was found in the back seat of a Ford Escort in a car parked beneath the Tom Tackle pub where she worked part-time as a barmaid. Over the course of a 15-day trial, Hodgson made various confessions for the murder of Simone, including crimes that he could not have committed himself, as well as crimes that did not appear to have happened. Before pleading not guilty at his original trial, his defense team argued that Hodgson has mental health problems. Convicted on the basis of his confessions, no assessment of his mental state was ever made, nor his apparent obsession with confessions to crimes he had not committed. DNA evidence was not used in British court until 1986. In 1998, his legal team asked the Forensic Science Service to review the case. but they were wrongly told that the exhibits had been destroyed. As a result, a later investigation had been launched into the matter. More than a quarter of a century of his conviction later, a forensic reviewed and discovered that the DNA found at the slain was not him. Ralph Armstrong, a UW-Madison graduate student on parole from New Mexico after serving time for sodomy and 4 rape convictions, was arrested and charged with raping the twin Cherish Camp, student at University of Wisconsin. She found in her apartment naked, laying face down in her bed, a bathrobe and belt draped across her back to her neck. The night of her death, Cherish had been confirmed to be in the company of Armstrong, his brother Steve Armstrong, Armstrong's fiancée, Jane May, and other guests within the Madison restaurant. Several witnesses would testify that Cherish and Armstrong were flirting with one another. Before leaving to Jane May's, they had a drink and listened to records while waiting to complete a cocaine deal. Approximately 10:45 p.m. after purchasing the cocaine, according to the trial testimony of both Armstrong and May, Cherish left May's to return to her own apartment. A neighbor witnessed from his home porch a man matching the physical description of Armstrong, thereafter running in and out of Camp's building, before finally disappearing to his car. Several head and pubic hairs were collected along stains from the bathroom belt. Across the victim's body, consistencies and similarities were found between those and Armstrong's hair. Confident of his innocence, Armstrong voluntarily submitted an evidence test. It came back with traces of blood under his fingernails, toenails, and watch band. The time finally came when more advanced DNA testing became available and was conducted in 2001 under hairs and sperm, thus leading to his exoneration. On June 15, 2012, Armstrong filed a $58 million federal civil rights lawsuit.